I just have that entrepreneurial growth type of approach. And I like understanding how things operate and actually work out. Because, for example, like in chiropractic school, this is important, that I think not a lot of people, and it could be in PT school too, get taught enough about the business side of things.
Mm.
And they're like, I'm a great adjuster or a great treater or a great diagnostician. That's all great. But if you don't know how to pay the bills, and you don't know how much you need to charge in order to pay the bills, and overhead, how much is too much, and payroll, and they don't teach that. They don't teach that. You got to go somewhere else. And I'm like, I don't know. I know it. So I felt like I was behind in all that. I probably started to learn all that in even in chiropractic school. I was like, I got into a few books, a few people, and I was like, wow, I'm like way behind. Like, I hardly had a credit card. And I'm like, this is like, why did no one teach me this like 10 years ago? I would have been so much more ahead. So I do find that stuff interesting, of just like growing a business and that too.
Yeah, certainly. And we definitely didn't get that in PT school either. I mean, I think a lot of people who go through PT school kind of get the idea in their head. They're like, okay, I'm going to graduate. I'm going to go to the clinic, and then I'm going to work my way up. Maybe I want a clinic someday, at least for outpatient. If you're doing acute care, subacute, they're just going to get the job and call it a day. But certainly, I mean, learning about branding, or even just trying to get yourself out, like exactly what you're doing, literally just knocking on doors and being like, hey, I'm new, like, come down and we'll figure it out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
A lot of it's trial and error as you go along, but certainly didn't learn a lot of that in PT school, or even before that for that matter, with like you said, credit score and so forth.
Yeah. No, I know. And I, I met, there are a couple of people that were at my office in Cali. They're out of college, they're 22, 3, and they're just helping out at the office, and they're like, no, I don't have a credit card. I don't really know much about this. I don't really know about scores. And I'm like, no, no, no. Okay, listen, I'm gonna teach you so much. You got to start now, because that's like your report card for everything. Like, you got to have a good, in order to get even a car, apartment, like everybody
Anything.
checks. So there's like all these things that we just aren't really taught about, and we just kind of like go, it's not that big of a deal until you get asked, and then you're like, oh, I have no idea, and they're like, you have no idea.
Yeah, like you
So
get to 28 and you're like,
yeah,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
having this rant with my sister, and I was just like, you gotta get just get a credit card. Like, even if you're losing money if you use your debit card right off the bat,
yeah,
like immediately,
yeah,
just
yeah,
put it on your credit card. You're gaining a little bit back from what you purchased and so forth.